presentation here. So yes, welcome again, everybody. Thank you for being here. As I mentioned, Joe Culhane, current member of this global Schumie community, and just just wanted to give context and a bit of background time at this introductory point of this gathering, the main event of this Equinox Assembly that we've created. And in 50 minutes, Satish will be joining us and giving a kind of state of Schumacher update and a look to the future as well. But before then, we'll just kind of give some background on this current iteration of a community of alumni, current students, staff, faculty, and as I think I mentioned, just in the transitionary seasonal situation we find ourselves in is quite remarkable. I feel like that this community and this assembly that we scheduled and planned for over the course of these last couple of months is coinciding with what's happening at Schumacher and with Dartington right now. And I guess that is to say, I'm grateful that this exists as a container, and just want to acknowledge that this community in its current iteration stands on the shoulders of no less than three previous alumni and global communities that have come before it, and for one reason or another, no longer exist today. And so that's what this container is here. That the Discord community specifically was where we decided to host as a container, a place to connect and find continuity and share about projects and explore how to be in community after our time at Schumacher, whether we attended an MA or a short course, or are currently a student there. And we just realized that we who co-created this were desperately yearning for that sense of connection and a space to belong after the incredible holistic learning journey we went on, and just to be kind of land back into business as usual and this world of modernity that doesn't necessarily resonate or reflect the learning and the ethos of Schumacher as a learning center, but also a way of living and being. And so I don't have any slides or presentation to share right now, but I'll just kind of speak to what we've created thus far, and also impress upon all of you that if you're here right now, you are a co-creator and owner and leader of this community with me and everyone else here. So I just really want to impress upon that right now, and I will in the future as well. We, from onset, decided that this will be a student and alumni-led community, independent from Dartington and in a way Schumacher as well. But specifically, we realized that we wanted this to be a sustained community and support alumni and current students regardless of what takes place on the estate. And to that, it seems that we were quite prescient, or it was good that we did this intentionally, because with what's coming to fruition on the Dartington estate with the trust right now, is could have broke this apart.
Recording in progress.
Powered by, oh, please mute if you don't mind. If it was run by the estate, and so we're still in the early days, but it's been about 18 months since we started this global community of Schumies. And initially, it was really intentionally designed to support the alumni, and it still is. But we've, in its evolution, realized that we want it to be as inclusive as possible. And at the beginning, we even had it called the Schumacher and Dartington alumni community, because of the Dartington Art School and all the amazing people and programs that were a part of that. And they still are deeply a part of this community. We just wish to support the alumni from everywhere under the umbrella name of Schumacher. So yes, since the onset, we have designed and developed newsletters, a podcast called SS Small is Beautiful. We have this Discord space that has ongoing projects. There's a dissertation support center. We've even built the groundwork, kind of a support system for student reps and a student government, which again, at this very moment in time, seems like a very valuable resource for these current students who are kind of precariously in this in-between state of their classes starting. And there's so much I would wish to share, but really I would just like to keep it as brief as possible and just acknowledge that, you know, we're all here together because of Schumacher, the land, the learning, the teaching, and the potential to carry forward this way of living and being in spite of and in the face of the challenges of modernity and business as usual. And that's not an easy task by any means. So that's just to surrender into the I don't know of how this is going to manifest in transition. But we'll be exploring some of that today. After and before Satish speaks, we do want to lean into what a community might mean to you and how we can all benefit from this shared container and be of service, especially to Schumacher College during this kind of crisis point that it is in. Because collectively, as Satish has said recently, we have 20,000 plus alumni over this 30-year period, and we're scattered across the world right now. And to have a central space to organize and collaborate and create seems not only like really imperative or important, but without it, the loss of our shared creativity and passion is sad to think about. Um, and I guess just for a moment of more background, I do want to acknowledge that in the attempt to bring this Schumie global community together, we really want to illuminate and celebrate all the different people and areas where there already is an active Schumacher satellite, like Schumacher Sprouts in Belgium, the Escola Brazil, Schumacher, and Siendo Naturaleza, all these different beautiful places that are embodying what it is to be a part of the Schumie world is just so exciting. And so I'll catch myself before I ramble on too much here, but I just wanted to again thank you for being here. And what I'm going to do now is just I'm going to share one of our kind of co-creators of this space, Michael Gonzalez, who is here on the call. And what he did, which is just brilliant, I'll let him speak to it, but he's started a book club, and I'll just leave it there. And thank you, Michael, for just being willing to share about how this iteration of a community has already been beneficial to you and perhaps the potential around what it can be moving forward.
Yeah, right on. Thanks, Joe. Well, cool. It's so exciting to see this many people here. Some amazing energy here today. So yeah, I'm Michael. I was regenerative economics in 21, 22, and here in Colorado right now in the mountains, some fall colors going on. So yeah, pretty amazing time. So yeah, I guess I was just gonna mention how I was kind of in the first wave of the students who came in maybe 9 months ago, and there's a few of us bouncing around, meeting socially and things like that. And then yeah, it's just having a chat with somebody from my cohort, like kind of like offline. We were just talking about our journeys and how they continued after we left the community. And yeah, just mentioned we were kind of getting into the same kind of learning path around this like MMT idea. And it was just like, well, might as well just throw it out there to the community. So that's kind of what evolved into the little book club thing. So I'm gonna try to share my screen here, see if that works. Are we sharing yet? Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So yeah, here's Discord. Obviously, you all know what this looks like. It was pretty overwhelming at first. I think probably a lot of agree. And so yeah, it kind of just quieted it down is the first thing. Like you can like hide this member list off to the side. It's all like, blown up red all over the side to the left. So you can just kind of go through and mark everything as red. That kind of helped me a lot. You can close down some of these tabs. Yeah, so you can kind of customize it to make it, you can pretty quickly get your footing here. So yeah, then I was scrolling through, saw this book club zone that Joe, or one of our other amazing members, created, and yeah, just kind of started chatting here, seeing if anybody was interested. Got a few takers. We had our, let's see, we got our folder here linked at the top. So yeah, it just kind of turned into this, shared space where we can all throw in our notes, all that kind of stuff. Catch up people if they were not there, anybody who isn't able to come to any of the live sessions can just catch up through the documents, contribute what they can, pop in and out. That's kind of the whole idea. And yeah, it just turned into a cool place to do like a lot of things at the same time. I think all of us are here for the community aspect and, meeting new people, socializing. So it's all that. And then it's just, for me, it was a bit of like a safe space, I guess, to, practice facilitation and, holding that space and feeling like you can, you know, branch out a little bit with this community here and, take some risks, maybe just make it your own. Like anything that we have happening in our own worlds, it's probably pretty amazing. So might as well just go ahead and share it with the community. So yeah, that's basically it. I'll pass along to Shannon, who also has done some amazing work here, and she's gonna share some more about kind of what others were hoping to get from this group here. So stop sharing. All right.
Thank you, Michael. Hey, everyone. I'm Shannon. I just finished up my dissertation for EDT. And earlier this year, as part of Module 4, I think it was, which was Design in Practice, I spent my time with this alumni community looking at how can the network see itself and connect to itself, and then also what sort of structures or governance might be appropriate for this group, and maybe how to take it further, what should be the next steps. And so I was really just kind of digging in and looking at the past iterations and what might have happened. Why did the previous groups fail, or why are there all these isolated groups but we're not connected to each other? And because it seems like everyone was saying the same thing, like there's this huge community out there, but we're not really connected. And who knows even who has passed through here and who has the list, who has the names? How do we get connected to each other? And so a lot of the graduates, as we leave, we feel that we had this community experience while we were there, and then we just go out into the world and that's it. And then what? And how do we stay connected? So we thought, the group already that started this Discord was really trying to bring these people together and also offer connections and support for current students, which we did find really helpful as we were getting into the dissertation period. So I was looking through, the current group at that time was probably about 70 people. And there was a membership survey that went out for what people were interested in joining this community. And the top 3 things that people said were that they wanted to meet new people from across the alumni network, so people out of their cohort, and they wanted to collaborate on projects, and they wanted to take part in online gatherings. Those were the top 3. There were other things that people wanted to do, but these were the ones that most people said that they were interested in. And so we were thinking, okay, so what can this community do to stimulate and foster those meetings and collaborations, and that cultivating relationships really is the essential goal. But then, as it was a small group, there was more of a tight community feel. And the group was about at that time to start opening it up, inviting more people, spreading the word, and then what happens when it gets bigger. And is this group trying to hold all of those 20,000 people that came through Schumacher over the last 30 years? Or is it really just trying to connect all these different nodes? And so, I mean, there's no answer for this. These are just the questions that we were pondering. And so I was thinking, okay, so what creates value for the community? How can we see each other and connect to each other? And where is the best place to put our collective energy? Because you could spend a lot of time trying to make this a formal organization and having bank accounts and doing fundraising, and maybe there's a paid job to hold all of this together. Is that the right place to put the energy? Or should it be this sort of open, moving network where people drop in and drop out based on their interests and needs, but it's not necessarily a formal organization. It doesn't have paid positions, and maybe it doesn't have like a formal governance structure. So again, there are no answers to this, and it depends on who's joining and what they want, because it'll keep shape-shifting as people come and go. But these are the things that we were grappling with at this time. And so now in this, I don't know, the last week or two, since the news of Schumacher and what is happening, so many people joined the Discord. So now there's over 200 people. We must be somewhere between 220 to 250. So it's obviously grown quite a bit since these, first 70 people were in here. And so that will change where this goes. So part of the discussion today is about what do all of you see or want and all of that. But also in my research, I was thinking a lot about this organizational labor and emotional labor that comes from trying to hold this group together. And so I was thinking about, okay, well, what is the difference between a network and a community? And so just like looking at the etymology of the words, I found it really interesting. So the root of net is to catch, to bind and tie, or it's a mesh, an interconnected complex system. And the work part of it is to do. So these are action words. So the network could be a place for catching and doing. And many people said that they wanted to come together to work on projects. So to me, like, I love the action words of to catch and do. And then when I was looking at community, those roots lie in location, in locality, and in shared fellowship. And so networks can be made of communities, and they can keep getting bigger and spreading, but communities generally have boundaries and more commitments to their fellow members. So communities require building trust and belonging so that you can then achieve this shared fellowship. And so that building and maintaining community does require a lot of emotional labor. So we were thinking, okay, what is the space, and what are people willing to contribute to the space? So if we dream big and we say we want all these things, are these also the things that we will show up for? Because those could be two different things. You might want to go to an event, but you might not want to organize an event. But trying to hold a group of this size that grows and grows and grows takes organization. So what are people willing to commit to? So at this moment, you can think of Discord as the watering hole, that this is the place where we come to mingle and to hydrate. Is this the best platform? We don't know. There are many platforms out there. We were looking at things with mapping potential because people really wanted to see physical locations of people. There are different platforms to try for that. It gets cumbersome if you have 3 or 4 different platforms that do different things, but if you want one that does them all, you might have to pay for that. So then are people willing to pay membership fees? Is that a barrier to access? All of that. So these are just all things to consider, and it's not that we're here to decide this today, but I just wanted to share with you all the thought processes along to where we got at this point. So we are going to go into some breakout rooms for a little bit before Satish gets here, but I would just pose some questions here that as we're talking about creating this global community, what creates value for you in this community? What possibilities are you excited about? And what would you participate in? And maybe in those, like if we think about it that way, it becomes maybe more tangible and realistic about what you might want to contribute to this group. And yeah, maybe, I mean, there's a side note that when we were talking about the projects, like there are quite a few of us that want to figure out a way to work together out in the world. We want to do work to get paid, to make a living doing this work. And why are we all trying to do it by ourselves? It's really hard to do that, and we feel isolated, but could we do it together? So we've already had collaborations that are just popping up. People share calls for work, and then people say, oh yeah, like I have skills in that area and I have skills in that area. Let's get together and put a proposal together. So this is the type of stuff that is happening now in this Discord, and this is potential. There are a lot of possibilities to move on from here. So I'm going to hand it back to Joe. But yeah, that's just a little overview of where we are at this moment and some things to ponder as we go into our breakout rooms. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Shannon. I just shared in the chat the questions and prompts for the breakout, and really we say hello to each other. Let's meet some of our community in that space. And yeah, we have 29 minutes until Satish, so maybe 10 to 15 minutes for the breakout room. Ahmed, are you? Thank you. First of all, Ahmed is helping with the IT and has been an amazingly integral member of the community for a good long while here. So if you're ready, we can just jump into those groups and yeah, lean into these questions together.
I think welcome back, everyone. Hope I didn't cut off any good conversations. Probably did.
Yeah, we had a very generative conversation. And I'd be interested to hear if anyone else had any kind of insights pop up. Yeah, reflections to share, something like really exciting. If anyone feels compelled, either just pop in, raise a hand, or just let us know.
I'll be typing those also.
Oh yeah, please. And I'll wait, but I'll just share while we were just talking, the idea of the breakout room just as this energetic idea space is just so juicy and valuable. And to that end, in Discord, there lives these voice channels where this can kind of happen whenever and however you might care to organize in the future. And that's just an open invitation to play with and explore that tool and resource that is Discord. You can create an event anytime. Any member can create an event and pick a channel, but you can also use the other channels to create breakout rooms. And one more thing about that and this Zoom, and specifically, this Zoom channel is here for you as well. So if you care to host a talk, a event, a workshop, and need the resource of a Zoom room, this room is yours as well. So please just reach out and know that that is here for you as well. Anyone have any thoughts? Care to share? Check in. We have 13 minutes till Satish will pop on with his update. A little bit of space here.
But Tim, hi.
Hi, yeah, just to start, how it felt for me was like joining the Discord at the beginning when you talked a lot and most people were like shut off. And then, we had this short check-in and then I came back and then suddenly everybody had their video on. It's like, the community just suddenly came alive. So I just liked that moment in a way. I'm not sure if anybody else felt like that, but it felt like, yeah, nice to share.
I will say in our group, we spoke about, you know, this need and this desire that many people expressed for being able to do the real work in the world and make have it be a livelihood and a way to sustain oneself. And so I just posted a link in the chat of something I have found so inspiring. It's in the US, and it's a list of places where people can invest in real projects and real work and local economies, and they're listed. Many of them have videos, and so if we did something in our community similar to that, you know, if people could jointly make proposals for projects, and then if they could be capitalized, so that people could really have a livelihood. Anyway, it's an idea.
In our group, I got a sense that there's first a need right after you leave the college, which is, okay, what do I do now? Like, how do I reintegrate and and have that support from people that have experienced something similar? And then in terms of then on the medium long term, I felt a sense of a need to nourish the practices and the spirit of what we experience at Schumacher. And people don't have, they don't express the availability for like more than, you know, the network aspect of being you know, this network helping to nourish some sort of a connection to what we experience, and we recognize that is very important, but that the feeling that it gets lost with time, with, you know, living our lives and finding jobs and continuing. So that's for, I think, in our group, what I could say.
Thank you for that. And I kind of went into a little bit of how this community could be that container previously, but just to add on to that, and as this kind of crossing that threshold of being at Schumacher and then back into the world, you quickly lose that the songs, the practices, the you know, the ways to connect and communicate. And so as a container, we're actively trying to find all those songs that you might have forgotten that were a part of your Schumie experience, for instance, and, you know, like figure out the ways that we can celebrate and illuminate the historical knowledge of this school that to my understanding doesn't necessarily have a easily accessible place. So that's also an invitation. If you have any songs or you know, practices or rituals that you might have really loved or miss, to put them in the Discord community and maybe even set up a little event around them. So yeah, thank you for that, B. Remember. Yes. Oh boy, I'm excited for Schumacher for Satish to come and join us. He should be here very shortly. And you know, I like I'm a all of us. Yeah. Oh, there's
a few people.
Please. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe people want to share from their groups also. Would be great to hear.
Yeah.
Thanks. Trisha, you wanna? Right.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Just briefly. Hi, I'm Moon. Oh wow. Just there was only two in my small group, me and Michael, and so just like the things that strike me was, I thought it was 40 years, but firstly it was being across generations. So, you know, there was about 30 years plus between me and Michael on this call. And so just registering that this is something amazing about the community, that it crosses generations and it crosses nationalities and it crosses backgrounds, and in the attempt to create a real commons. And I think that's just fantastic. The other thing that we were talking about was the fact that this attempt to create the worldwide Schumie community, as was referred to at the beginning, is something that has been envisioned many times. I've been involved with at least 2 attempts to create it, and it's really great to be joining another. And I do think that we're at a moment that possibly the college might come out of a very difficult moment that I'm sure Satish is going to talk about, and actually move towards real independence. And with that comes the chance to reconstitute it, less as a hierarchical, traditional organization and as a genuine worldwide commons. And I just really hope that's going to happen. And it's really nice. After all this time, I have been involved with Schumacher from 1992, so a long time, and it's really marvelous to join this call. Thanks.
Thank you, Patricia. Bex or Rebecca, you had your hand up as well.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. We talked a little bit about sort of just networking, keeping people together as part of that, but also like this transition from being part of the community to then being out in maybe back in a place, maybe where you come from or some new place, and facing the difference of culture and the difference of ethic and ethos in there. So, and how to maintain or to kind of maybe a way of kind of facing that transition is either being prepared or being supported through that transition, or maybe even this network or this community as being a place to come back and practice some of those things. So people, we use words that other people don't recognize. I know that's part of the work, but also needing to keep having discussions maybe to bring back our experiences of whether it's autopoiesis was my example, or that maybe other people aren't using that language. So, and to be able to cultivate and to continue this dialogue of the concepts that the university holds and fosters. And so that's one side, and then the other side is that the culture of the college, that how we do things, the practice. So how do we continue to practice? And I think through doing projects but they could, and I think we talked about the value of paid projects because of but also I talked a little bit about this issue of privilege, and obviously there's differences across the world and different people have got different sort of social setups. But bringing that in and doing project work together allows us to also evolve this practice beyond the 1 year or the 2 years that we're at the college, and that practice then can maybe be deepened, I suppose, as well. So that's a little bit of a flavor. So there was a range in our group all the way from there through to just needing to network and connect.
That's fantastic. Yeah, the opportunities we have as a global community and network is profound, because we all can be mentored and we can all mentor each other. And in the wild dreaming of it, imagining like these current students coming in and being paired with a former alumni from their community to bounce back and forth ideas and be supported just seems like such a nourishing thing. And imagining into all these current students having this network and resource and community to not just do theoretical assessment projects, but to know there's existing projects or infancy stage projects that they could dedicate their learning time to could be just so incredible too. I mean, there's just so much potential in what could come as we emerge from what looks like an autonomous Schumacher from the Dartington Estate as well. So it's a really exciting time. I mean, it's daunting, to be fair, and a lot of uncertainty still exists, but this global community is here and it's really rich. And there's going to be fundraising needs to build this autonomy, and I know Satish will be speaking to that. But we can collectively help organize and facilitate and support that as well. And yeah, it's really exciting. I'm just my heart's just like beating with gratitude and you know, excitement to be a part of this with all of you. Any other thoughts before Satish pops in here?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Satish, welcome.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello, Satish.
Good to see you all. Good to see you all.
Beautiful.
Okay, lots of people there. I can see on my gallery. Happy equinox to everyone.
Happy Equinox.
Happy Equinox.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yes, yes, lots of people from different countries. Patricia is there. Was nice to see you. Okay. Is Bia there?
yes.
Yes, I'm here, Satish.
Oh, yes, I can see you there. Very
Hello.
good.
Hello. So, Joe, I don't know if you would like to say something before I take over, because I mean, you've been hosting the session, so I feel it would be nice for you to exchange a bit with Satish, no?
Just sure. Thank you, Bia. Satish, welcome. I'm so grateful you're here. We all, I imagine, are, and I'm just, you know, in a state of awe, reverence, and just very humbled that to be a part of the Schumacher experience that you helped co-create. And I know we're in this kind of tumultuous transitionary time together, and this community is here in my, you know, interpretation to bear witness and to just respect this transitionary time in service to it as well. So just thank you for sharing with us soon. Bia is gonna, you know, just kind of be the communicator with you from this point on. But thank you so much for being here.
Hello, Tim is there. What I would like to say, first of all, that it's wonderful that you have organized this get together on the Equinox Day. It's a day of equilibrium. It's a day of equilibrium. And then we come from larger and smaller, and then go into larger and smaller, but this is a day of equilibrium. And Schumacher College, we were talking yesterday with our group, and Patricia was there. What is Schumacher College? The question was, what is Schumacher College? So my answer was, first of all, our alumni around the world are Schumacher College. You are Schumacher College. Schumacher College is people, 20,000 people we have around the world, 20,000 alumni who have been there 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, volunteers, everything. So you are Schumacher College, number one. Number two, there are a number of other like-minded organizations who have emerged out of Schumacher College, or even if not out of Schumacher College, they are working in the same kind of field. So like in China, there's a Schumie garden. Like in Brazil, there's a Schumacher Sprouts. There's a, in Belgium, Schumacher Sprouts. In Brazil, Escola Schumacher. In Colombia, there's a group there. In India, there are 2 groups. In Japan, there is a group. So these like-minded, sympathetic people who are doing similar thing in the kind of ecological field, in the service of our planet Earth, in the service of bringing right values or ideals, they are Schumacher College. Schumacher College is much bigger than sometimes people think. So that's the second Schumacher College. The third Schumacher College is the base where we started the college 32 years ago. And that base is our spiritual home. And many of you have come there, and there you have found that as a homely community, love, friendship, a kind of idealism, something more than just a kind of economic growth, but something more than that. So that is a third Schumacher College. And the fourth one is our program, which somebody added. for our program. Deep ecology, Gaia, deep time walk, spiritual ecology, reverential ecology, holistic thinking, holistic science. And all our teachers are Schumacher College. Fritjof Capra, Vandana Shiva, David Orr, Jonathan Porritt, Wendell Berry, and many, James Hillman, Patricia Shaw, Tim Captree, all these wonderful teachers who have been at Schumacher College, they are Schumacher College. So first of all, I would like you to think a bigger way that what is Schumacher College, a much bigger idea than just one at Dartington, although that is our base home. Secondly, I would like to say that Schumacher College has been there for 32 years. And in this time, we have seen many small ups and downs, many difficulties, but we have survived. And now Dartington is going through a financial crisis. And because of COVID, that was one big downturn. And so lots of money was lost, and many courses did not run. Schumacher College courses did not run. Many courses at Dartington did not run. Our businesses went down. So we had a kind of downturn because of COVID. Then some bad management also happened there, and they wanted to launch some bond scheme or something weird things they wanted to launch. And so that lost money. And so some of our businesses are doing badly. But Schumacher College in itself is in a good health and a good state, because we have now nearly 100 students. And many of you know that they on average pay about £15,000 a year. So 100 students paying £15,000 is a kind of 1.5 million income. In addition to that, we run short courses, and the short courses also bring some income. And then we get some donations, and so and grants. Salvia Foundation gave us £500,000, and our one alumni from Hong Kong gave us 2 million to repair the roof. Another woman gave us £500,000 to create the kitchen properly. So we get lots of donations. So there's a tremendous goodwill and support around the world for Schumacher College. And so Schumacher College is in good heart and good spirit. So now what we are trying to do is to maintain these various dimensions and various aspects of Schumacher College, our alumni, our kindred spirit groups, our own program, and our teachers, keep relationship with them. So now I'm saying to Dartington that we have been with you, under your control for 32 years. You have supported us for 32 years. There were ups and downs. There were some difficulties, some relationship problems, but you have supported us for 32 years. And now we are grown up. So now we need to become independent. So we are in negotiation and in process of negotiating independence from Dartington. We want to remain friends. We want to remain neighbors, but we want to run our own affairs, our own income, our own expenditure, our own budget, our own Schumacher students, or our own teachers, and without any interference from outside. So that is our plan. And so please wish us well that we can get independence from Dartington. We remain friendly and neighbor, but we run our own affair. And now Schumacher College, the time is coming for Schumacher College, not going. The world needs Schumacher College, and not one Schumacher College, but a network of Schumacher colleges in different names. We don't want to create a kind of brand, or we don't want to create a kind of franchise. We want more kind of diversity of approaches and a diversity of ideas and diversity of groups. So we want that, but spirit and the values and the ideals of ecology, of spirituality, of holistic thinking, of community, of love and friendship, of working on the land, learning of education of head, education of heart, education of hands. These are the values which Schumacher College is. And so we would like those values to spread, and Schumacher College and the model and ideal Schumacher College become the university of the future. Because the universities today we have are becoming out of date, like Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, Yale, Beijing, Mumbai, Tokyo, all these big universities, they are becoming out of date. They are maintaining the economic growth of the last century, and they are industrial paradigm. and they are destroying our planet Earth, creating global warming, creating climate change, destroying our soil and the land, destroying our rainforest, polluting our rivers, polluting our oceans. Those are the highly educated graduates from Oxford and Cambridge are responsible for all the problems we have today. So all these universities have become out of date. So Schumacher College model is a future university and a university of the future. And so we want you to think big and have a tremendous idealism and tremendous commitment and dedication to create a new education which is holistic, which is nature-centered, earth-centered, spirit-centered, head, heart, and hands. Our educational system today in our modern universities see that human beings, the students, have no body. They have no body. They have no heart. They have no hands. They have no, and only half brain, because we have two hemispheres of the brain. The left hemisphere is the hemisphere of reason and calculation, analysis, science, technology, all that. The right hemisphere of the brain is the intuition, imagination, creativity, relationship, community, spirituality. But our universities don't consider or recognize the right hemisphere of the brain. And they don't do anything to cultivate our feelings and heart qualities of compassion, of kindness, of generosity, of love, of friendship, of respect. All these values are never taught in our universities. And the hands are completely ignored. We don't need to make anything. And now our out-of-date universities are promoting artificial intelligence. So humans don't need to think. Our human intelligence is useless, unnecessary. We have artificial intelligence. So in this situation, in this paradigm, the time for Schumacher College and all your work around the world you are working is now very important and necessary. So my very simple, humble message to you is, thank you, my dear students. Thank you, my beloved students. You are all my very beloved to me, very dear to me. And when I think of you, I'm in tears. I'm very moved to see that so many of you are there, out there, upholding these values, real values of the world, in the world. And so thank you for doing that. And I assure you that we will come through this problem of Schumacher College at Dartington, and we will come out stronger, more dedicated, more committed. And if necessary, we will find another venue if necessary. We can move somewhere else. Place is not the ultimate deciding factor. Or we would like to stay as long as we can because we have given lots of love to that place. But if necessary, we can move away. But these values, these ideals, our alumni community, and our love for nature and earth, and interconnected, interrelated paradigm, where whole cosmos is our country. Whole planet Earth is our home. Nature is our nationality. Love is our religion. That is the kind of magnanimous mind that we want to cultivate. That is our ideal for education. And that is Schumacher College. So just I want to say thank you, all of you, for being there as our alumni and supporting Schumacher College. So thank you. If you have any questions, please do ask me. But it's my pleasure to see you all on the screen. And I'm so moved and touched and I'm in tears. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Satish. It's always an energetic boost to hear you. Thank you for your words and for the reminders. I think it's very important for us to remind ourselves of how much happens beyond the physical space that we have. That is very important indeed, but how much leaves out of the beauty itself. I have 3 questions that I'm holding, listening to you. 2 for you, and 1, I think, at the end, I want to ask us as a group, because I think the first one is, I think a lot of people here are, like myself, imagining themselves in the shoes of those who are at the college at the moment, the ones who are, you know, put aside 1 year of their lives and got there. And so I think in that, specifically in that topic, I feel a lot of us are willing to support. And so I want to ask you if there's anything that you think can be done particularly in taking care of the experience of those who are at the college. if you think there's anything.
Yes. I mean, you know, there was a little kind of problem or big problem, and the Dartington said that Dartington is on the verge of bankruptcy or verge of insolvency, and therefore we cannot run any activities. So all our courses must be suspended or held until we have some financial security. So that was a big problem, and students are there. They have come from India, they have come from South Africa, they have come from the United States, they have come from South America, long distances. Some of our students had worked hard to save money to come to Schumacher College. Some of them had given up their job to come to Schumacher College, and now they are there, and they were told that no, you can't have your classes. That was a tremendously painful and a kind of upsetting episode. So I'm delighted to say that the students went to Dartington when the trustees were meeting and say, we trust in Dartington, please change your mind, and we want to be educated. And so I'm glad to say the trustees listened to them, and their demonstration, their protest, and their voice was heard, and the trustees changed their mind, and now the teaching and the course is resumed, and it's going on. So that is a kind of small good news. But the future is not yet secured. So only thing I would say you can do to support our students at Schumacher College is to just send some letters, some emails or something to say, we are with you. If any support you need, anything you require from us, we are here. If you want us to write to Dartington, we can write to them, whatever. So if you can show your solidarity and your support by emails and so on, that will be one thing. The other thing we are going to do, if we Schumacher become independent, then I would like to do two things. Number one, I would like to buy the Old Postern from Dartington so that Schumacher College owns its own spiritual home, its own building. So we will maybe this Christmas or early New Year, we will launch a fundraising appeal to all our alumni, 20,000 alumni around the world, and ask them to support financially so that we can raise enough money to buy the Old Postern and become our own home, owners of our own home, and not be dependent on Dartington. So that would be one. And also, in order to really give a secure foundation to Schumacher College, we would also like to build a small endowment so that maybe £1 million or whatever we can raise. So an endowment, that's a bit of cushion. So in case sometimes students don't come or enough participation, not enough recruitment, not enough income, then we have a little cushion. So we would like to do in 2024 will be a year when we can build a kind of endowment fund and raise enough money to buy the Old Postern from Dartington. Or to have a long-term lease, like 90 years lease or 100 years lease. So something like that we want to create. So we will come to you. You will hear from me and from our faculty members and our staff. You will hear from us. And if you are able to make some donations, a small contribution or whatever you can afford, so we will ask you to support us. So that's the thing you can do in 2024. So for the time being, just hold your nerve and have faith in and trust in Schumacher College, and we will come out of this problem. This crisis could become an opportunity to become independent of Dartington. That's all I can say in the answer of your question, Bia.
Thank you. I think you already answered my second question, which was around how can we, or do we have a space to join or support in the transition of Schumacher becoming independent, and I think you've answered that. So I understand there's a group of people leading this conversation with Dartington, and we're going to hear from you as soon as you have any news on that front.
Certainly. You know, Schumacher College has a separate from Dartington, a charity called Schumacher College Foundation. And that is a separate charity, and people we can receive donations earmarked and ring-fenced so that that money cannot be used for any other purpose than Schumacher College. So we have Schumacher College Foundation. Now we would like to register this as a limited company. So that is also a limited company, as like a charity and a business. So limited company we will form, and we are talking about it, how soon we can do it. Then our idea is that we need to write to the Charity Commission to say that now, until now, Schumacher Foundation was a subsidiary of Dartington, but now we want to become independent and separate. So we will have to have an agreement with the Charity Commission. So those were the practical steps that we have to take. Then we are a limited company and we are independent charity, and then we can write to you and ask you to make a donation directly. It will be our own bank account, and we are hoping to create a bank account in a very ethical bank called Triodos Bank, which is a kind of Steiner Bank in Bristol, which is an ethical bank, and only invest money in ethical and ecological and organic and renewable energy projects. So it's a very, very ethical bank. So we want to have our bank. At the moment, Dartington banks with Barclays. This is complete contradiction. How can you be an ecological, environmental trust and bank with Barclays? This is not so good. So we want to open an account in the Triodos Bank. So you will hear from us our bank account number, Schumacher College Foundation, independent charity, limited company. All those practical things, steps will be taken soon. And I already had a meeting today, this morning, with some faculty members. And we have already formulated a small management team of the faculty members, 4 or 5 members. And we are going to elect, out of all our staff and faculty members, we elect one spokesman. So we don't want anybody now to be appointed as a head of Schumacher College or director of Schumacher College, but we want to appoint somebody from within the existing faculty. So these are the practical steps that we are taking in order to ensure that Schumacher College is resilient and strong and can move forward in 2024 and beyond.
Good. Thank you. There are some people currently at the Old Postern, and they would like to ask something.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Hello. Hi, my name is Rosanna. You might have seen me on the BBC or ITV for the news.
Yes. I thank you and congratulate you for taking the courage to go and demonstrate.
Thank you. I mean, that's all of us. My question is, I think we're all very excited about the future of Schumacher and the independent Schumacher. But I think something that the current students are struggling with right now is trusting Dartington with our year of study, especially with any money that we have spent, or some of us have taken student loans to give that money. And it's, as you said, Dartington, financial mismanagement, they don't bank in a way that we believe in. Like, I think we're finding it quite hard to trust giving our money to them to fund this year's courses in light of what has happened. Do you, or even alumni, like, do you have any way that you can, any advice or any way that you might be able to support us in that? Because I think a lot of us are really struggling with that decision.
Yes. First of all, I want to assure you, the name there on your screen is Celia. What is your name?
I'm Rosanna. This is
Rosanna.
Celia.
Rosanna, I want to first of all assure you that although your money, the fee you have paid, has gone into Dartington, but that money is legally ring-fenced and restricted. That money cannot be used for anything else but your study and your food, your accommodation, your teaching, your teachers, faculty members. So your money is ring-fenced legally and safe. So it will not be spent on anything else. So that you can be reassured. So that's one thing. Secondly, we are, as I said, in the process of negotiating this independence. As soon as that negotiation is successful, all the money which you have paid will come back and be transferred into Schumacher College Foundation. And then it will be directly under our control. But I can assure you that your money is ring-fenced and restricted, and it cannot be used for anything else. And you can be reassured that all us faculty members are all committed to stay there for a year, whatever comes, and teach you and see your study through. So the thing is that life is unpredictable. I might die next hour, or who knows. But in the end, we have to trust. We have to trust ourselves, and we have to trust the universe. Universe has a greater design than any of us can design. And so we have to trust in our heart. Trust is not only when you meet some good people and trustworthy people. Trust is trust. Resilient trust is trust. Even when you are meeting some untrustworthy people, and still you don't lose your trust, because that is your real wealth. The trust is your real wealth, your real treasure. And so do not lose your trust, even though situations are difficult. We will see it through. And Schumacher College has a 32 years of track record, and our faculty members are totally committed and a very people of integrity. And so I can assure you, don't need to worry too much. And I'm sorry, very, very deeply sorry that you had to go through this upheaval and postponement of your course. But now it is back, and I'm in kind of correspondence and in communication with a CEO and with the chairman of Dartington Trust. And so we will do our best to secure and safeguard your interest, because students are our treasure. You are the college. Without you, there is no college. So we will not allow anything to have any upset or any problem for you. So trust and carry on.
Thank you. I also had a question. I think some of us here would like to be able to take action to help in this process, because it would help us to be able to help the process, I think, during this kind of unstable time. Some of us need rest, and some of us like to really be in the action. Is there anything concretely that you would know of that we can do as students or as a community to help during this time?
I mean, that is a good question. What you have already done, that demonstration was very effective and very effective, and it brought some quick result. That was a very good action. Now, the next action, what I would like you to have a kind of collective decision. So with the faculty members and staff and students all together, to see how you can help to make Schumacher College independent. How you can maybe in due course, there's no immediate action necessary in that, but in due course, students can also write to the trustees and the chairman, the CEO of Dartington, say that we believe the Schumacher College should be independent and run its own affair, and will free you from the burden of financing Schumacher College. So please consider making Schumacher College independent. So in due course, in a few weeks' time, when we are ready for it, we can ask you to do that. But otherwise, I would say that with the faculty and staff and students together, have a discussion. And I will be doing a little session with you on Zoom on Monday. And then I'll be coming to Schumacher College on the 8th, 9th, 10th, 3 days or 4 days of October. So I'll be meeting you in person, so we can discuss further with staff and with the faculty and say what action we can take to make Schumacher College secure, safe, as students secure and safe, and their education going forward nicely and properly, and eventually Schumacher College become independent. We will carry on that. I'm determined.
Thank you for your words and for your leadership.
Thank you.
There was a comment on the chat, Satish, about Pavel resigning. Do you have any information around that? That he resigned last week, apparently.
Yes. Pavel was there for at Schumacher College more than 5 or 6 years. And he was very good, hardworking man, very wonderful. And I worked with him. But he was put under great stress, great pressure. And he, before resigning, he rang me. And we had a good discussion, 2-3 telephone calls. And he said, I'm feeling very stressed and very kind of unhappy. and it is not good for my health. It's not good for me. So I want to resign, and I want your kind of agreement. So I said to him that although I'll be very sad to see you go, but your health and your well-being is of paramount importance. That comes first. Schumacher College is for people. Schumacher College is for faculty. Schumacher College is for students. Schumacher College is not just a name. Or Schumacher College is not just an institution. It's a people. And if people's well-being is not there, then what is Schumacher College? So I don't want you to be under stress and a kind of strain and a worry and unhappy and unwell and unhealthy. So if that is the case, then I will accept your decision, although I'll be very sad to see you go. And so that was my discussion. And after he resigned, he sent me an email and say, I'm okay, and we'll thinking various things, and we'll be in touch. And so I'm going to be in touch with him again. So unfortunately, it was a very sad happened, but for the well-being and good health, psychological health and physical health of Pavel, I think this was the best decision that he has taken, so that he is free of this worry. And I and other faculty members, we are not under similar stress. We are negotiating and we are moving forward with determination that sooner or later, one way or the other, we have to use our skillfulness, skillful means to negotiate independence, because we don't want to have this separation or divorce in a kind of quarrelsome way. We want to have amicable independence, amicable separation, so that we remain friends, even though become independent, but we remain friends. So that is our purpose, and that is our effort, and we will move with that. So I am sorry about Pavel, but he is now in good health.
Thank you. There's a question from Sarah. Would you like to ask it, Sarah, yourself?
Sure. Hello, Satish.
Hello.
It's so wonderful to have this good information. So perhaps it's too soon to ask this, but I am curious. What would happen to the larger estate if Dartington goes bankrupt very soon? Is there a way to protect the local area for a fertile ground for Schumacher?
That is a big question. And you know, if the whole of Dartington goes in kind of bankruptcy and a non-solvent situation, then I think it will go in administration, and that the things will be sold, the buildings and land will be sold to whoever buys it, and then maybe that money, whatever money comes in, will be used for a charitable purpose, because it's a charity, so it has to be legally supervised, and charity commission will oversee it. But we are not yet at that situation. It's only hypothetical. Everybody's trying to save Dartington and see if they can sell one or two assets, some land or something, so that there's the main central land and central buildings can be protected by selling a few pieces of land outside and maybe a few things. And that will be also helpful if we were able to buy the Old Postern. That will bring some cash to Dartington, and that will ease their cash flow problem. So I think that is, so for the time being, fingers crossed that maybe even Dartington could be saved and so on. But if it's not, then it has to go into administration, and the money has to be kind of gone into some charitable purpose. So that has to be decided by the administrators and charity commission.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Satish, how are you with time? Do you have still a little bit of time?
Yes, one or two more questions.
Okay, so I'd like to open to whoever wants to ask anything.
Otherwise, I'm just wish you a very good, happy equinox, and we stay in touch. We will be in touch with you. You will hear from us not long. I think just around Christmas, we will be sending some sort of information and some appeal and so on. And so very nice to see you all on the screen. and thank you for your wholehearted support and friendship to me, to Schumacher College, to each other, and moreover to our beautiful and precious and amazing planet Earth. We have to have our gratitude to this planet and gratitude to the water, the air, the rain, the fire, the soil, the land, the food, and gratitude to ourselves, our bodies. And so please feel deep gratitude on this day of equinox. And with that sense of gratitude, I wish you a happy equinox. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Satish.
Thank you. Thank you, Bia, for organizing me and inviting me.
Wow. Satish, the force, that one, just so much energy at 87 years old still. It's inspiring. I don't know if we can field the question that I saw you had a hand raised, or if we just wanted to kind of decompress what was just shared, but whew, that's just so much information. And Zoe, to your question, yeah, like it seems like they have an organizational kind of idea on the ground there, and it would have been lovely to have a little bit more space with Satish and kind of the leadership team of Schumacher still there, because I feel like this is the opportunity for the students and alumni who have all come there to actually support and inform how Schumacher transitions. And if they just can't keep it within, you know, a core team and don't really open it up to us all in a way, that would just be a loss of a great deal of energy, creativity, and opportunity to reimagine it moving forward. But yeah, perhaps getting someone in a leadership position to fill Pavel's void, who has the skills to navigate financially and otherwise, would probably be really good at this moment, for sure.
We have had the news that that Dartington has chosen a new interim person called Professor Bell. I don't remember his first name.
I don't think that's
it's not
accurate information. I think Cedric Bell has come on in advisory capacity, but not as a head.
Okay.
From my understanding.
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
But I think alumni you can always email the current leadership team and to make these suggestions and to ask to be input. To my mind, that would be the sort of quickest, the most effective way of asking to be involved in that decision. Yeah.
Lovely. Thanks. Sid.
Hi, everyone. Sure, I might not be the only one who'd love to hear a bit from the people who are in the playroom, in the postern, and maybe how their week's been and how it is on the ground. Maybe the guy at the back of the room who's trying to hide. Or anybody.
Anyone speak to? I mean, I can be honest, if that's okay, and say it's been really, really hard. Because we haven't had the best communication, and I'm not saying that to blame anyone at all. I think it's just been quite an unstable circumstance. Obviously, I think with Pavel having stepped down, there's been a loss of a leader figure. As in, I think he probably would have been the default for communication then. He was no longer around. And we've had a couple of meetings with the CEO. The staff had a meeting on Wednesday. The students had a meeting on Thursday. I think it's been hard because there has not been, I appreciate what Satish said of our fees being ring-fenced, for example, but the CEO and trustees have not been able to guarantee us that our courses will not be postponed or paused again. They said that in our meeting to us, that they were not able to guarantee that the courses would not be paused or postponed again. And I think it's been quite an emotional last 10 days or so. I think I'm probably not the only one who says I don't feel able to go through that again. I don't want to go through that again. So I think there's a bit of fear and definitely a loss of trust amongst the students. But would anyone like to add a more positive lens just to balance out? Yeah. It's been hard, but community has still been very strong, and there's been a real sense of us being together in this, and the staff, the faculty have been fantastic. They've been working really, really hard, and they're, I mean, arguably more impacted by this than us. So we really recognise and appreciate that.
I mean, the first reaction that some of us had when we heard they were pausing it is that's just going to cost them more money. And I wonder if they offered you any explanation as to how it can possibly save money to pause when you're already there, being accommodated, being fed, being taught, or not taught.
We've had very, very little explanation or communication. We've had, I mean, I know I personally have not had any direct communication from the trust. And we had about, was that a half-hour conversation the reps had with us?
An hour and 15 minutes.
We had a scheduled 15-minute conversation on Thursday. We were meant to have it on Wednesday after the staff. Our students were standing in the foyer for about 45 minutes waiting, and then didn't get the meeting they were promised, and then had to have it the next day, and had about 20 minutes, half an hour.
We ended up having an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, you did?
We
Good.
managed
Okay.
to prolong it. They were, every time they were trying to cut it off, and we asked another question and continued the conversation.
Yeah,
so
yeah, we kept them talking. We kept them talking.
Heroes.
Well, we're all very proud of you and really wish you well, and thanks for being there. And yeah, I kind of wish I was there. I left last Monday just before this happened, so yeah, best of luck.
I mean, anyone who wants to visit, we would appreciate. Come and boost, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. You need some fire. That's what I feel in the woods.
I mean, the fire is there. Sorry, I'm Polly. I'm living there at the moment. I'm just not there this weekend. I'm a new student as well. I was also in the meeting. But the fire is totally there. Like, the spirit is totally there. And yeah, just thank you to everyone. Yeah, you can feel it, even though everyone might not be there. This meeting and hearing Satish is really reassuring for us, for me anyway, and for I imagine other people. So yeah, we're trying to keep the spirit alive. Thank you.
Please do share any other thoughts or feelings. And yeah, I'm gonna put in the chat to you all. Go into the redwoods and start a fire and sit around that living, breathing fire and sit with the land as well, because that fire that you shared just now is great to hear, and that redwood forest, I'm sure, welcomes you all as well, and the dear River Dart, of course. What a wild time. Yeah, the historical continuity of the college and the trust and the lack of communication and respect and all of that is painful. And I guess in this breakup, or however this split is going, ideally some goodness can come from it, but does not look like a clean or simple or easy process ahead for untangling from the trust, that's for sure. And looping it back around to this global community, we'll be in solidarity as a community through the Discord and various channels. And please, 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 like as current students, you know, faculty, staff, anyone, alumni, the community was truly built by students, for students, and alumni, and all of you as a shared organizational container, both for projects and just a sense of belonging in place, but also you can dream whatever you want to dream into reality through it. In our little group, we were talking about, someone brought up the metaphor of like a bunch of gorillas, in that, like, you know, go in there and make some messes and be creative and playful and like, let's celebrate the you know, failure, and trust that like together we can collectively get through this hardship for the college in its physical, spiritual home, as Satish said, but also for our global, you know, connectivity. The potential is unbelievable. Someone shared in the chat making a small video, and I love that. So that's great. Thank you so much for that. I really hope we do that. And it sounds like, you know, people are bubbling over with ideas. And so, yeah, you know, and this event, this assembly was just an idea to make a stepping stone for possibilities to be open. This collective organizing team, there's about 8 to 12 of us over the course of the last year and a half who've been holding that, but we're doing it voluntarily. So in later sessions today and into the future, we're going to be exploring what it could look like to support ourselves financially and sustain like viably, you know, this process. So please stay tuned and offer any suggestions, as I see some are coming into the chat throughout too. So
just about that, since you're mentioning that, Joe, I'll be talking about that in the next session, which will be on Discord. I'll send the link if some of you haven't joined.
Great.
We'll talk about an imagination of what could be, practical
That's
imagination.
Right. Eliane, George, hello.
Yes, we're here. Thank you, Joe. I hope you can hear us okay. I just wanted to say to the current students, and I guess like to all of us here, there's this, you know, we're in these times of transition, and I feel like, as George had, well, we mentioned in our breakout rooms, like almost every year at Schumacher has gone through something, every cohort. Like in my year, it was the postern closing because of the roof, and every year there's something, and I think that's like embedded in the larger notion that we are in a transition. So for us as students, when the postern closed, was like, what does a transition out of a postern look like, and how can we make that experience not better for ourselves, because that's it, but for the next year. Then of course there was the transition into COVID and out of COVID. So there's been like all these themes of transition. And so one of the things that I can say is, what is on us? It's on us to see, how do we show up in that transition? And that's a reflection of how we show up also in the outside world in this transition. So what I want to invite is, based on what I experienced in my year with this like tension between Dartington and Schumacher, there was this falling into the us versus them narrative quite a lot, and villainizing. And being at Schumacher, perhaps that's a good ground to practice being in and out of that narrative and fully getting out of it. But that's just what I wanted to say, to recognize that we are in transition and it manifests across different dimensions. And the real ultimate test is, how do we show up in these moments of transition? And just an invitation to avoid falling into that narrative of us versus them, and being compassionate also for those that are not necessarily living in love the way that we are taught at Schumacher.
That was wonderfully said. Thank you so much. Robin, hello, greetings.
Hello, hi everyone. I just wanted to say about the Devon Transformed Festival is happening at the moment in real life on the estate, and we've put in a session at 6:30 tonight. So if any, to basically talk about the future of Schumacher. I actually haven't heard back from anybody about whether they're going to go or who's going to be there. Are any of you guys in the playroom in the Postern going to that? Do you know? I wasn't sure if it was going to be taken up by you as a kind of useful space, or whether it's more going to be like people at the festival who are not really related but interested. Do you know what's happening? I mean, I'll go along to make sure somebody's there.
I think it's was going to be like an open space.
Yeah.
So rather than it be facilitated or someone lead it, it was a space to show up and have the conversations. That was the decision that we took. I think partly just to recognize that everyone here is quite tired, and rather than someone pick it up and try and make it an event, we just allowed it to be an open space. So that's what it's going to look like, I think.
Yeah. Okay. And so if anyone else is in Dartington or Totnes area, then that's at the Camp Dartington in the round tent, basically the bigger tent in the field.
I've really appreciated how Satish reminded us of Schumacher being so much broader than the building, what's happening there. And I would love for us to use the remaining time that we have before we go into Discord to really listen from more people around, because I feel there's a lot going on there, of course, and a lot of people already engaged, those in the ground, those involved in more of these discussions around becoming independent. And I think for us, I understood from Satish, there's a lot that we can do, but we also need to wait because there's a lot happening. There's a lot of people taking care of it. And I would love for us to have the time to really strengthen, because I feel what's needed for me at the moment is that this global community becomes stronger as well and diminishes a little bit the kind of a dependency that I feel we all have and it's because we love so much this place that I feel, of course, we want to help those who are there. We want Schumacher to become independent, but there's a lot happening around the world. And how do we then strengthen all of these movements and connections and make them more visible and exchange, which is the starting point of this whole assembly, right? So maybe I would love to hear more of what was discussed also in the small groups and ideas of how you see this community also living. Sarah?
So my deep wish is that we can see this time as a time to strengthen ourselves for the days that will come ahead, and practice as we await learning more information, just really practicing being with our breath and trusting. And what Eliana said about vilifying and so forth, I think we can trust that if we use right means, the ends will follow. And I mean, ultimately, it doesn't depend upon the postern, and we can go so far inside to our inner resources, to our breath, and not to be quietistic at all. The nonviolent action you all did as students was so amazing, and it was also hard for many of us to be far away. So we need you there to be stable, to be walking peacefully on the ground. And that helps us when we worry about our beloved college struggling. So we're all interdependent, and I'm so glad that you feel on this call the support that you have in the bigger world from us.
Thank you, Sarah, for sharing. And I would ask that also, for the current students, maybe like how could this community be shaped around also supporting current students? I mean, even, but can we be mentors? Can we be reflectors with you? Like what is needed for the current students and the current situation, both, academically, but also for your well-being. And it could be something that is shaped for the future, so I'm wondering that.
I think at the moment, I don't see a very clear picture of how the alumni community could help. I think just having the community there and present and available is already an amazing thing. But I think also what I've seen from today is that I think a lot of people are really tired. So I don't really know how that could fit in, because I think even like joining and this is, it's just been so much. We've been through a lot of student meetings, a lot of meetings with the staff, meetings with the board, and just new information coming in constantly, trying to figure out how to deal with this. And I think at the moment people are just kind of trying to be able to stand, just be able to be like, okay, where are we at? How can we rest also in this situation? So I think it's kind of a balance that needs to be found between how can we feel the support of the alumni community and the whole Schumacher community, at the same time honoring the rest that a lot of people here need. So I don't really know how to balance that.
I can maybe offer a thought on that. My name's Will. I was one of the kind of initial group that was co-creating the community that we're all sort of part of here. I mean, one of the things that really drew me to doing that in the first place was this sense of transitioning, you know, from being a student to an alumni, and perhaps lacking a support network, lacking a kind of direction, perhaps after being a student. So I guess one thing maybe for us to think about is like, how can we cultivate a rich soil that once people come out of the college, you know, there are projects that are happening that they can then gain experience from, even as students as well. You know, on the EDT course that I was on, the replacements, I worked with Siendo Naturaleza, and that was a really important part of my experience as a student as well, was something that an alumni had gone and created and then was able to offer back to us as students. So I think obviously it's one thing to try and support students while they're there, but also creating things beyond the college. You know, that's what Satish's invitation always is, you know, go and start your own project, go and build something out in the world, go and grow something. And then we can have a diversity of different people doing different things. And I think that's where the real resilience comes in, is through having that kind of meshwork of projects and people that, you know, both students and alumni can be part of together.
I think
Yes.
Conversation
Sorry.
has, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know, just yeah, thank you for your words, Will. Just reflecting now that I was really inspired by Satish's words to spread, and especially the point about Schumacher being the college of the future, the university of the future. Yeah, exactly as you're saying. I think spreading this pedagogical model, way of relating, being in community, is the way we make a larger global transition. And making this kind of educational experience more accessible to people around the world that maybe don't have the means or don't have the time to be able to go all the way to the UK. It is our spiritual home, but in a kind of biomimetic metaphor, it's sending out seeds all around the world and it's sprouting in different places. And I think, yeah, just nurturing that network is an important parallel to saving the college itself. Yeah, so just, yeah, we can have the postern and the little spot on the estate as our you know, core, the heart, but just make the college global, just make a giant Schumacher. That's it. The parallel. Sorry to cut you off, Celia.
No worries. I was just about to thank you all for this amazing conversation. I think it would be really nice if in the future conversations we could also, I think that's what we've been trying to do, and I don't know how to go through it further, but it would be to find like really concrete ways of putting all these things into action, I think. especially through the clear platform. I think that was one of the main things that I know has been worked on. I don't know how to say that. And I think it would be, yeah, really nice to be able to really feel that all these amazing like opportunities could be really put into yeah, concrete plans, and also just know how for us to know how to actually put those into action. I don't know if I've been clear in my words. But.
I'm looking at the time and I'm thinking if Ahmed, maybe our expert on Discord, would like to give us a little advice on how to move into this new platform. If that makes sense, of course, for you.
Yeah, I think we attempted to do that through the Start Here channel, but I think just take time to explore and always ask us. You know, you can use there's a tag if you look at the Start Here, it'll show you sort of like how to start. There's a tag for the pod members.
Would you like to share your screen maybe? Because I would find it helpful when, yeah.
Okay. Let's go. So as we, this is the screen here. I hope it's the same for everyone, but I'm on a laptop. It's quite different on a mobile. The initiation, this is sort of like when you come in, you join this channel. So like your name appears and you can say, hi, you know, we usually just wait for people here. And then when you go to Start Here, just scroll all the way up. And Ryan here has, you know, there's a handbook for the Schumie community, but this is an older one, but still relevant. And there's a video, a good video that you can find through that. It explains Discord, but then you can go down, and this is sort of like the first things you can do here. And then you can speak to pod members. So that's just by like doing @pod members. And you do it in the general channel here. So if you have any questions, I want to do this, how can I do that? So one of us will come and help. So ask, you know, like we're here to help. If it and also, you know, just like any place you go into any new place, give it time, explore it a bit, walk around it, click around it. I mean. And yeah, see where you can go from there. That's what I did. You know, I use it for other communities, and that's what I did too. You know, I just eventually clicked around until I understood what's going on.
And particularly to the next conversation, where should people go to?
So I need to go there now because I'm hosting it. We're going to the Elmhurst Library, so you just click there. And click again, so you're in there now, and you can see whoever joins will be here, and I'm chatting here and there now. That you can see around. There's a ring, and I mean now you're gonna hear me twice, so I hope your ear is gonna be okay. So this is the next session. I will also start the event, so you can see on the top left here, there's live now, and you can click a button here that it doesn't appear to me because I'm there now. So yeah, you can join through that also. I'll post the link again, but I think Kat had something to say.
Oh, thanks, Ahmed. It's just a quick one, and apologies I wasn't able to join at the beginning. I too, like Will and some others, was part of the team co-creating the initial part of the alumni community. And it's just a quick thought. I appreciate that the students have an awful lot on their plate right now, and a lot of mental and physical energy. And I'm just wondering if we can agree or appoint someone within the alumni community to be a point person or two people that they can say, look, we need help with this. Can you find us here in the alumni community who can help us? Because I'm aware there's an amazing and bit by bit we're learning about all the alumni and all their skills. And I know people coming to study at Schumacher already have a lot of skills already that they're coming with. But just considering how much you have on your plate right now, whether it be helpful that you've just got one or two people to go to, and then it's on us to go find you those folk to help you with, and even whether it's like wording a strongly worded document, or it's something like we need someone to run a meditation. We're feeling a bit frazzled. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there.
I think that's yeah, it would be nice. It would facilitate communication, yeah, kind of like a alumni representative.
The bridge, as we used to have. Bia being the last one, was the half last one. But yeah, I'll let's talk. Celia, I think you're already there, so I'll message you there. I'll send you my number, and then I can help with that for sure. But I gotta go to the other one now.
Yeah.
And,
thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Especially to those who have put a lot of energy into organizing. I know Joe, Ahmed, and Shannon, and a lot of people, making the designs and the whole thing happen. Thank you.
Yes, thank you all.
Nice to see you all.
Hey, everybody.